Uh, Good morning to all of you. Welcome, dear students. So today we're going to start with a new topic, that is microbiology of milk. So in that we're going to see basically diseases caused by microbes, that is milk-borne diseases, and there's sources that from which sources the microbes they get entered into this particular milk and milk related products. So as we all know that milk is a complete food. It has all essential nutrients present in a balanced form. Okay, and it is a favorable environment for growth of different types of microorganisms. So if these microbes containing milk, if it is not properly treated or it not get properly pasteurized, and if you consume such a milk, then these things will leads to manifestation of several diseases that are known as milk-borne diseases. So in this particular unit, we'll see which type of microbes cause diseases. There are different types of sources. Okay, and how to control the spoilage of milk and milk related product. So basically this unit is dealt with microbial spoilage, okay, and microbial spoilage as well as diseases causing by different types of microbes present in milk. So we'll see milk-borne diseases, okay. So the spoilage and pathogenic microorganisms causing illness could come from different sources. Okay, so these are different sources from which different types of microbes they enter into milk as well as milk related products. Just like these sources are animals, then handler, then environment, then water, then different equipments, then microbes come through air, then raw materials, and due to poor sanitation practices. Okay, so all these are different types of sources from which microbes they enter into milk as well as milk related products. So the knowledge about source of contamination will be helpful in preventing or reducing such as spoilage causing and pathogenic microbes in milk. Okay, so we should have proper knowledge regarding these sources from where microbes get entered, so we can develop particular method to eradicate these microbes, or we can develop some methods that can prevent the entry of these kind of microbes in milk. So milk is an efficient carrier for variety of diseases producing microbial agents. Okay, so as we already discussed that milk is a complete food, it has all essential nutrients, so obviously it is an favorable environment for growth and reproduction of microorganisms. Okay, so it is also efficient carrier for variety of diseases. Okay, so with mass collection and distribution of milk in industrial countries, the potential of milk for disease transmission become widespread problem. Okay, so the disease control however can be maintained only by constant supervision of health of dairy animal and by adequate controls at all points from the time the milk leaves the udder until it reaches to consumer. Okay, so while the problems of ensuring a safe milk supply are of different orders of magnitude in economically advanced and in developing countries, yet there are essential similarities. So in both cases, where a highly mechanized system with extensive distribution services from centralized milk plant is employed, and the slightest relaxation of attention at any crucial links in the milk chain from farm to consumer invites problem. Okay, so this is a basic scenario behind this topic. So a second factor that is common to advanced and in developing countries is the disease causing microbes. So such a microbial agents can be conveniently classified as communicable disease causing microbes. So these are different types of microbial groups such as viruses, rickettsias, bacteria, protozoa and other parasites and their toxins. Then next specific and non-specific sensitizing agents, and next there are some of the toxic chemicals like pesticides, some preservatives, some drugs, then radionuclides and other substances. So these are microbial agents that can be classified into these three groups. So milk as a vehicle of microbes. Okay, so milk, by virtue of possessing all sort of nutritional factors, can serve as an excellent media for microbes. As you know, we all know that milk has all essential nutrients, and due to plenty of nutrients, it is this milk is favorable environment for different types of microbes for their growth and reproduction. So especially including pathogens, bacteria have ability to utilize various milk constituents to grow and multiply. Okay. So while growing at the expense of milk constituent, these microbes release certain metabolites like lactic acid and other organic acid, gases, enzyme, then flavoring compounds, pigments, toxin, etc. in the system, which may be useful or which may be harmful. So there is one thing I want to tell you here, that so microbes affect the milk and milk related product in both positive as well as negative way. So in positive way, you must know, you have know that there are several products that are derived from milk, and basically these are fermented based product, and you know that microbes are the only agent that can carry fermentations. Okay, so this is again a positive approach. Then negative approach is that there are several microbes that they causes spoilage of milk as well as milk related products, and after consuming such a spoiled milk or milk products, it leads to manifestation of disease. So overall, what is conclusion, that microbes affect this process both positively as well as negatively. So generally this so while while growing, microbes secrete some metabolites. Okay, and these metabolites include organic acids, gases, enzymes, flavoring compounds, pigments, toxin, etc. Okay. So generally these metabolites leads to different spoilage condition in milk product and make these unfit for consumption. Okay. So actually these are the metabolites, they causes spoilage of milk, and this spoiled milk is not suitable for our consumption. So for this reason, raw milk is inherently dangerous and should not be consumed by anyone. Okay. So it is mandatory that, or it is important that one should not consume raw milk, because it has lots of microorganisms as well as other compounds. So at any time, for the reason, however, this has been practiced in past in northern parts of India, might be due to unawareness or consume. But there are some parts in our country where still there are some people, they consume raw milk, but this is very harmful and dangerous. So these practices of consuming raw milk, it might be due to unawareness and seriousness regarding this topic. So as far as food safety experts are concerned, the pasteurization saves the life. So we all know that pasteurization is the sterilization, some kind of sterilization of milk. So pasteurization has saved lives of millions of people. Okay, so pasteurization has reduced foodborne illness from milk to 1/4 in comparison to before. The technique was widely adopted in early 19th to up to 1% now. Okay. So pasteurization is very important as far as milk and milk related products are concerned. So it has saved lives of millions of people, and it is a very important part as far as safety and quality of milk is concerned. So although all are vulnerable to illness from E. coli or salmonella poisoning, children and people with weak immune system are at higher risk from drinking raw milk. Okay. So number of infections is growing as raw milk is gaining popularity and people are taking a risk. So raw milk is very dangerous. It has different types of pathogenic microorganisms, and consuming such a raw milk is not good for our health. Milk serve as a potential vehicle for transmission of diseases under certain circumstances. So, pathogens grow and multiply to produce certain toxic metabolites and make itself an extremely vulnerable commodity from public health point of view. So, the microbiological health hazards arising from consumption of contaminated milk has grown in recent past and has resulted in intensification of food hygiene program overall in world. So, although the occurrence of incidences of foodborne illness has been considerably reduced in developed countries, mainly due to adoption of strict microbiological quality control and sanitary practices during production, processing, as well as distribution of milk, the situation is continues to be grim in developing countries like Indian subcontinent, where such practices are impracticable even at present. So, there are some countries like developed countries, they adopted various systems and practices to avoid the spoilage and spoilage related issues regarding milk, but still there are our country like developing countries, in most of our part of our countries, there are some people, they are still consuming raw milk, and the modern practices of sterilizing of milk and milk related products, they are not adapted, right, still not now. So, milk spoilage is manifested by a reduction in aroma, flavor, texture and nutritional value of food. So, milk spoilage is mainly milk spoilage causes what? Reduction in aroma, flavor, texture and nutritional value of food. So, in extreme cases, the dairy products become totally unpalatable. Okay. So, in addition, some microbes are known to release toxins that may cause damage to health for consumers. Okay. So, there are different sources of pathogen. Okay. So, we have just seen in brief, but now we will see in detail that which sources from which that microbes enter into this milk and milk related products. So, a variety of pathogens may gain access to milk from number of sources and causes different types of foodborne illness. Okay. So, milk and its products may carry microbes such as or their toxic metabolites called toxins to consumers. Okay. So, first source is animals. Okay. So, the animals from we draw milk. Okay. So, the health of dairy animal is very important parameter, because the number of diseases including brucellosis, Q fever, salmonellosis, staphylococcal and streptococcal infection and foot and mouth diseases of viruses may be transmitted to man through milk. So, the microbes causing these diseases may be transmitted to milk either directly from the udder or indirectly through the infected body's discharge that may drop, splash or be blown into milk. So, the animal from which we draw milk, it should be healthy. It should not be affected with these kind of diseases like Q fever, salmonellosis, the staphylococcal. So, obviously these infection will get transferred from that animal to the person who draws milk, or as well as the person who consumes milk of such a infected animals. Then next, handlers. So, handlers are the people who handles all of this process of milking and its collection and its transportation and its distribution. So, a disease person may be transmitted. So, a diseased person may transmit diseases like typhoid fever, scarlet fever, diphtheria, then septic sore throat, then infantile diarrhea by contaminated hands or by coughing, sneezing and taking during milking or subsequent handling of milk at farm level. So, the persons involved in this particular process of milking as well as its collection as well as its distribution, if they are affected with previously affected with some diseases, and obviously they will transfer their microbes by touching, by sneezing, by coughing, by normal action, they can transmit their pathogens from their own to the milk, and after consuming that milk, by any customer or by any person, again that person will suffering from same kind of diseases. So handlers, they are the important one while operating this process. Then environment. So dairy farm environment may also introduce pathogens into milk products at different stages of production and processing. So some common airborne pathogens like a group of streptococci, Corynebacterium diphtheria, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Coxiella burnetii, and some viruses of respiratory origin. Okay, so dairy farm environment is also important factor in introduction of pathogens into milk and milk related product at different stages of their production as well as processing. So environment plays very important role. So all operations of milking as well as its processing and its some other operations you carrying, it's depend upon environment. So your environment should be very clean. So there are some common pathogens, they are mostly present in air, like airborne, we call them as an airborne pathogens, and they include streptococci, Corynebacterium diphtheria, then Mycobacterium tuberculosis, then Coxiella burnetii, and there are some viruses that they causes respiratory tract infection. So all they are come from air. So contaminated water, fodder and unclean vessels and containers used for handling of milk and other unhygienic conditions at farm and a plant may significantly contribute to pathogens and spoilage causing microorganisms in milk. Okay. So overall these are the main factors. So we have seen in pretty much detail. So next we'll going to see different terms used in milk-borne infections. Okay. So according to Communicable Disease Center, an outbreak of foodborne disease is defined as an incident in which two or more persons experienced a similar illness, usually gastrointestinal, after ingestion of common food. So according to what? Communicable Disease Center, an outbreak is what? Outbreak of foodborne disease is defined as an incident in which two or more person they experience similar kind of illness, usually gastrointestinal illness after ingestion of common food. So mostly these foodborne infections, they affect your gastrointestinal system, and if more than 2% they are feeling same illness, then it leads to what? It manifestation of, it leads to foodborne diseases. Okay. Then etiology of foodborne disease is confirmation or identification of causative agent of disease through laboratory diagnosis. Okay. Then epidemiology of foodborne disease is a systematic approach to locate cause and mode of transmission of disease so that corrective measures can be applied. So in epidemiology, especially not in these are general terms, but here we are studying as far as perspective with food or milk related problems. Okay. So this is overall background and basic information. So we'll continue our lecture with next points. Okay. Thank you.